Hello, hello. My name is Julia, and I work on marketing and social media at ISC North America. But before we start, I would like to say that we have several certifications in English and in French, and you can take it from anywhere in the world. 20 hours per day, 7 days per week, and the result of the exam is immediate. Today, we are here with Carmen. Carmen is a QA lead at BlockFi and QA at ThinksLab with 2 years of experience. And today she'll talk about why QA is important on a software company. And she will talk as well about the importance of a QA team on a software company, refresh some concepts about QA, and why all software companies should have a QA team. Welcome, Carmen.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And first of all, I want to say thank you very much for this. I'm really happy and excited. And also, I want to say thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. I want to thank also Iski for giving me this incredible opportunity. I promise that this will be fun and also very informative. So let's get started. Um, I'm going to present myself first. I think it's appropriate since we're going to have a lot of time together this afternoon. My name is Carmen Amengual. I'm from Venezuela and I'm based in Argentina. I have 2 years of experience and I'm currently working, as Julia said, in ThinksLab and BlockFi as a QA lead. I want to tell you a little bit of my story, even though it's not the main topic of this seminar, but I think that will inspire you some way. Before this, I did a lot of different things. And if you ever migrated, or I think in general, in life in general, you must know that you have to do a lot of things before you find the right job. So here's my resume. I worked as in a jewelry store. I worked as a nanny in a call center, as a street vendor, as a receptionist, and last but not least, as a community manager. After I received a very low pay for doing an Instagram rebranding, I decided to give my life a twist. So I spoke with a friend that is in the field since I met him, and I asked him what would be the right fit for me in the tech industry. So he said, based on your personality, you should be a QA. So I investigated a little the courses that I should do, and I did this online course about QA. It was great, but I did it twice because online things are good. But for me, I like to be in a classroom with everyone and get the chance to, raise the hand, ask some questions. And it was the best decision ever because the professor has so much passion teaching us about QA. And he was so in love with the career that he transmitted all this passion to me. So I fell in love of this amazing career, and here am I giving you this attempt to talk. So I will encourage you to give your life a twist because I promise that it's totally worth it. So now let's go to what we're here for. I decided to split this into six different topics. The first one is the introduction, which I already did. I want to know where are you based? Who is looking this presentation? Please don't be shy and feel free to write in the comments. Now, we're going to refresh some concepts. What is testing? We're going to see misconceptions about testing, why testing is important in the development process, and are companies really saving money? And then we're going to summarize everything and we're going to understand why QA is important. So let's start. For you, what is testing? I really want to see for you guys what is testing. What do you think that testing is? And I will be reading this um, after I finish. Uh, well, okay. So, according to the internet and a lot of different places, testing is finding out how well something works. In terms of human beings, testing tells what level of knowledge has been acquired. And in computer In software development, testing is used at key checkpoints in the overall process to determine whether objectives are being met. In Spanish, testing is the way to make sure that our paintings are not crooked on their walls. And of course, it's more than that, but this is how I see testing. Trying to put in a more familiar way, trying to explain in a more familiar way. It's also when you finish cleaning your house and you just put in a you stand in a corner and you see that everything you have to clean is done and make sure that everything is in the right place. And also could be after doing a play that you receive a standing ovation. Look, in all these processes, we did a lot of activities to get there. And the result is always something that makes us smile. The bugs are little things that happen in the way, but that can be solved. So, what is testing for you? I really want to read that. I think I'm going to leave it to the end of the seminar. So, let's go to the misconceptions of testing. There's a bunch different misconceptions of testing. Let me tell you, I found 12 and then I found 13, 26, but according to the ESTQB syllabus, there's only three. This is, I summarized and get together five of them because I think that all of this is something that pops into the mind of a person who doesn't know what testing is. So the first one is testing is easy. Developers can handle it. And no, I put this first because this is the main reason why a lot of software companies doesn't have a QA team. They think that the developers can test the things they do. And the truth is that even they can do it, they don't have all the preparation they need to do the testing that or to perform the test they need to fulfill some certain kind of features or test cases and all the activities that testing includes. It's like, let's say that we work in a cupcake store. I'm going to use this cupcake store example way too much, so bear with me. It's like we work on a cupcake store and we are in charge of testing the chocolate frosting because it's our signature frosting, right? But since we don't have money to afford a person who's going to test the frosting, we're going to say to the mailman that tests this frosting. It doesn't make sense because this person doesn't know what the frosting sheet has. If the chocolate is on the right point, do we have enough sugar? So that's why developers cannot fulfill the place of a QA. What we have here is that software testing is not something to take lightly or push onto developers. Dedicated testing experts can be the difference between a fully working product and a failure that ruins your reputation. Because yes, if we don't have a person who's dedicated to that, how do we going to make sure that the user is going to have a really good experience? Let's go to the second one. Software testing takes too much time and money. Look, from my point of view, saves time and money. Example, again, let's say that we work in a cupcake factory or a cupcake store, and we are in charge of testing our signature chocolate frosting. If we don't test one batch and that batch has an expired ingredient, what's going to happen next is that the person who ate this cupcake is going to have a really bad night because its stomach is gonna, So the way to prevent this is having a person in charge of this. So what's gonna happen next? This person test this cupcake, eat this cupcake, then have a bad experience. The worst thing that a company can have is a person who doesn't have a great experience with the web app or a mobile app. And it's the same when in the cupcake store. Because if you just sell this cupcake with this bad frosting on it, this person's gonna say, don't ever go to this place because their cupcakes are total are bad, they didn't work. And that's what happens with software as well. So when implemented from the get-go, software testing can actually speed development and time to release and reduce the likelihood of a bug or security flaw harming or inconveniencing the user. I hope this is clear. I know I ramble a little bit, but I wanted to get to this point. The third one will be tester delay software delivery. And this is false, super false. I don't have more to say in this point more than if you're part of the process, we don't delay deliveries. Which delay deliveries is the incorrect planning and unreasonable expectations. Let's say that we are in a cupcake store and we are planning to do 12 cupcakes. And these cupcakes must be delivered tomorrow. But we say, like, yeah, doing the frosting is easy. Doing the cupcakes is easy. It doesn't take too much. So let's say that we're going to do this 3 hours before. Things can get wrong. So if we don't have that in mind, we're going to have problems. Let's go with the last ones. Testing is just documentation slash filling of Excel sheets. And maybe testing is more than that. Includes many different activities such as test planning, test analysis, test design, test execution, test monitoring and control, test implementation, and test completion. All these activities has their own time and makes the result to a perfect or not software. It's true that we use Excel to make some test suites, guilty, but we also use frameworks that help us to do all the things like Sapphire Scale, X-ray, you name it. So could be a yes or no. And the last one, I think this is the one that most annoyed me that says testing is just pressing buttons and breaking things. Look, yes and no. We do press buttons too many times, but those tests are being made for in a different team. This is automated, and this type of test calls a stress test. You can do it manually as well, but yeah, we press buttons too many times to see if they work. But we also perform other types of tests on the product, such as a stress test, smoke test, regression test, and many more. This depends on the necessity of the feature or the product. So I want you to know, what do you guys think about testing after all this information I just gave you? Do you think that all these misconceptions are true? Or now you see it in a different way? I'm going to read the comments later. Let's go with why testing is so important. And honestly, this shouldn't be a question. And probably everyone in the software world should know the answer. But since there's always a but, not everyone does. Thus, I gathered 4 reasons that I personally think could answer this question. I know I had a lot of bullet points, but I really like to have everything in numbers because it's a better way to summarize things. So let's go with the first one. One test a day keeps the bugs away. And yes, I use the Apple phrase, but look, it's 100% true. A test in time prevents a disaster in the future. Let's go back to the cupcake store. If we don't test in time the strawberry frosting, we can find out that maybe it's not good, or maybe it's some ingredient missing. Maybe it doesn't have enough sugar, or we missed the vanilla, or we missed the salt touch. So if we don't test that in time, it could happen a disaster. The second one, we test because we care. And look, I do not know any quality course or workshop that does not mention the importance of the user and a bug-free software. We know that it's kind of impossible that we have a bug-free software, but for us, it's our main task. We are the gatekeepers, and we're preventing that this kind of things happens. Let's go to the third one. This is a statement that I think it's too much, but it says that test is the key to success. Just as companies that make skincare products and they do the testing not on animal plays, on people. Skincare products do many tests before launching a product. So we also do many tests before we say yes to a release. Or let's go back to our cupcake store. I think I'm gonna open a cupcake store this after this. um, we have to test all the frosting. We have to test all the makes to make sure that everything is working and it's going to have the result that we want or the flavor that we want. And the last one, it's better to have a testing team and not need it than need it and not have it. And sounds like a slogan for an insurance company, and in fact, it is. But it's a fact that testing team guarantees your products are being cared for. We're also an insurance company that make you feel secure that the magical piece that you do as a developer, it's working as you intended. So yeah, this is why testing is important. So let's go to a deeper question. And with this, I think I'm going to extend a lot, but it's worth it. I promise. So, are companies saving money? Look, the answer is yes, but at what cost? Many companies prefer that developers do this work, as we talked before, because they cannot afford a robust QA team, which causes developers to have double work, and in some cases, deliveries are delayed. In addition to that, when developers do not have the necessary knowledge to do the different type of tests, the user perspective, they miss one or another important bug. It is true that some companies start out as startups. They do not have the enough budget to have a large team. But I think it's important to start at least with 3 people that are taking care of your software. Because this is also a plus. If the company starts with a small QA team, once it gets bigger, everyone is used to the QA processes and we have a solid QA culture. There's a lot of companies that starts doing things and when they almost about to launch a product, they decide that, oh, we need a QA team. So let's hire a lot of people. And what happened next? Our developers, project managers, and engineer managers are going to feel like not in the right place because they're going to feel that where do we put QA in this situation? Or if we're using agile methodologies, where the QA is going in here. So my advice is you're saving money, but you're not saving other things. And you should have a QA team. It doesn't matter if you're starting. So let's understand why QA is important in a software company. Look, I think I already said everything. Based on everything we saw previously, we can say in a fairly summarized way that it's important because it avoids loss of money, bad user experience, and it helps to take care of the reputation of the company because this is all it matters. The reputation of the company. We like people to go to our websites and said, yeah, look at this website. It's amazing. It works well. It works smoothly. I really like this. And people are recommending things. If we don't have that kind of thing and we're having people that say, oh, this website is full of bugs. This is horrible. We're going to lose money eventually. So I asked a few friends and coworkers what they think, why QA is important in a software company. And I gathered 5 answers that I think that were the most accurate ones. And also, I must say that I'm really grateful to have this kind of people working with me because they know how important it is. The first one will be QA helps identify errors and flaws in the software code and designs through development, but the letter is kind of tiny, development process to prevent loss of time and money. Having QA ensure that the product is working as designed, secure, and performs the expected functions. QA is also important in finding flaws in the documentation requirements, whether it is a mismatch, incomplete, or not working as stated. More or less and more. It's kind of what I said earlier. This person, the second person, he just got all very summarized and he just asked a question. Did we build what we set out to build? The difference between a yes and no is the strong QA culture, which is something that I really fight for every day. QA culture is important, guys. The third one will be the QA department is the bridge between the engineering department and the customers. Yes, 100%. This is so true. We are. QA advocates for the customer and it's able to communicate not only the needs of the customer, but explain why why to the engineering department. This is amazing, right? I think that this one is also very accurate. QA is also the quiet, sometimes not quiet, and I think this person works with me. Hero for the company. QA will often find serious issues while testing that never makes it to the customer. This builds our trust between the customer and the company. Customers will have confidence in new features that the company provides and will spread the word to their friends, family, go to this company, blah blah blah, and this will revenue the company. This is what I was talking before. If we have in Spanish, this is a mouth to mouth thing. I think in English it's kind of like that. But if we have a person who preaches our website and our app and said, hey, look at this app, we're going to have more followers or more users, and that builds revenue. The fourth one will be reduce risk and errors, better experience for users, maintains users' trust. Concrete, concise, perfect. Without quality testing, the chances of bugs getting through are extremely high. Developers write unit tests, but those not cover everything. And if a company wants to put out the best product possible, a QA team is the key. So I think that we understand why QA is important in a software company because we are the gatekeepers, because we are the ones who speak for the user, the one who are always trying to make the company look beautiful. We are kind of a stylist people who are fixing the clothes of this company in order to impress. If we want to, of course, have a shallow example. So, do you have any questions? I will love to read some questions. Let's see if I can go to the comments. Blah, blah, blah. Slay it, go queen. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, I think we don't have more. Let's wait. Questions. I want to hear questions. I want to read questions. Hi, Julia, I cannot hear you.
Here. I think we don't have questions, but of course it was very well explained from your side. Um, Here, this is great, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
I don't know if you'd like to say anything else or.
No, I think we're good to go. Thank you again for this amazing opportunity, Julia. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me a chance to express my voice and that people heard that QA is important.
Thank you. Da, da, da. We have
What's
one
the
question.
difference? Yeah. What's the difference between the different tests? What's the most used one? Well, it depends of the product, but I think that the most used one will be regression test. I think that's the one that we the one that I use most is the regression test because it's the one that wait, let me focus. Regression test is the type of test that I use because I want to make sure that if a new features comes out, I can see that all the features are working as expected. I would say that regression, smoke test, and the stress test. Stress test is one of my favorites because even though this can be performed by an automation team, doing manually, it's really fun. It's like I'm gonna grab my phone and it's like trying to press so many times the button to see what happens, if it breaks or not. Try to exit from the app a lot of times to see what happens. I think that that's one of my favorites. I hope I answered your question, Daniel. If not, let me know.
Yeah, we have like a very good seminar. Yay! Let's see if we have another question.
I think we don't.
Yep. Okay, Carmen, would like to say anything else? I think you already said it, but if you want to say again, or
Well, I can say thank you again if you want.
thank you so much for your presentation. It was a pleasure to have you here at ISKI.
Thank you.
Hmm. Okay, so thank you everyone for being here. And I would like to invite you to follow us on social media and stay on top of seminar discounts and much more. And I think that's it.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
it.
Thank you so much. And take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Carmen.
Bye.